it is now recording, which I'm saying because I have to walk my seat anyways.
Yes. All good.
All right.
It'd be handy during the blooper section.
Pretty much, yeah. Gotta love bloopers. Hey everyone, I'm here today with Dr. Onkar Singh, and this is the Holistic Healing Arts podcast. We haven't recorded one in a while, so I'm Skye. I am the new promotions manager here at Holistic Healing Arts, and I will be your host from now until forwards. All right, so we might as well get started. I wanted to start by thanking Dr. Singh for being here today, so thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Skye.
Yeah, so to start off with, tell us a bit about yourself and how you became a naturopathic doctor, like how you got into the profession.
Sure. So I'll give you the shortened version, because I don't think the listeners would like to hear the complete boring story, but I've always had an interest in healthcare. And I guess, since high school, one of my dreams among many was to become a doctor, to connect with people, to build relationships. So long story short, my academic career post-secondary started at McMaster, did a 4-year biochemistry degree. So to be eligible for the naturopathic program, you do need to have an undergrad degree. So after completing that, I became fascinated with naturopathic medicine and applied, got in, and the actual program is 4 years. So total of 8 years after high school. And then to practice in Ontario, you have to write licensing exams, which if you ask any of us NDs, we're just so happy that is way, way behind us, because it's 4 days of board exams, and then you get licensed, and then our board, which governs us in Ontario, they give you the license, and then you can practice.
That's awesome. So how long have you been practicing for then?
I know I look very young, but this is my 22nd year in practice, Scott.
You'd never know.
Yeah, thank you. It's the power of naturopathic medicine, right?
Yeah. So, and what areas of interest do you specifically, like, I know naturopathic doctors do everything, like, well, not everything, but a lot. But what areas specifically interest you within the field?
Yeah, great question, Skye. And to your comment just now, yes, I think most of us are pretty eclectic. We see everything across the board. Me specifically, though, I definitely have an interest in mental health, stress, anxiety, depression, pain management. And then I'm also certified, along with Dr. Albano, who's another ND here, in IV therapy. So that's a skill that I'm glad I did the training for, and it can provide a lot of positive clinical outcomes.
That's awesome. Yeah, personally, as someone that's like terrified of needles, but I've seen it happen a few times, at like walking past it, and it looks actually really cool.
It is cool, and we're very it's very gentle. I know, who likes to get probed by a needle, but it's done in a very comfortable setting, and most of our patients do very well with it.
That's awesome. So, what piece of advice would you have for someone who is just starting out or looking to start out in their career as a naturopathic doctor or in naturopathic medicine in general?
These are great questions.
Thank you.
So I can answer that because now, having been in my 22nd year of practice, initially, because we are not covered by OHIP, that being said, a lot of extended healthcare benefits that patients have through their work do have coverage for visits and consults with naturopathic doctors. I only say that because when you first start practicing as an ND, there's going to be elements of perseverance, hard work. I don't think when you first start out that you can just expect to have a thriving full practice. It's something you build, and I can even recall the very first patient I saw, Skye. I still remember their name, and you build on that, right? And over time, you're doing things to put your energy out there in the community. Brantford is very special to me because I was born and raised in Brantford. It's my hometown. So I really have always felt a part of this community. So the advice I give is have to persevere, work hard. I know those are kind of basic foundational things, but getting your energy out, feeling a sense of belonging in the community that you live in. Like, look, I'm here, I'm ready to see people, and promoting yourself, getting out there. So it's about you putting your genuine energy out there. And over time, the word of mouth, that starts to build. And then, you're 2 decades into it, and you've hopefully helped some people along the way, and you've built really good lifelong relationships.
For sure. Yeah, that definitely is. It's like you said, it sounds so, but it's so important to just like get your energy and natural feelings out there and like show people who you genuinely are, because that's a lot of like what you want in a doctor, is someone who's genuine and cares and is just really straightforward. Well, at least that's what I want in a doctor.
And I think, that's probably a common sentiment shared by many people. And I think if we could all, conduct ourselves in that manner, that would be so amazing, right?
That would be really great. So we already talked about what qualifications does a naturopathic doctor have to meet to be certified to practice. But like, how does that compare to what a traditional or Western medicine doctor would have to study?
So in terms of their training, and I know this because my brother is a general surgeon, so I kind of know what, the process that he's gone through. I would say typically they're also doing an undergraduate degree first. Then they're going into medical school. Most medical schools are 4 years. I believe McMaster, unless things have changed, is 3 years with a year internship. So 4 years, then you get your MD, so that's 8 years. Mm-hmm. Now after that, they do residencies, which could be anywhere from 2 years to 5 years, 7 years, right? So there is additional, time in the residency. Whereas in the naturopathic program, Skye, during your 4th year of studies at the Naturopathic College, that's when you do your internship. You do it during that 4th year. And that being said, I should just quickly mention there are basically 2 accredited institutions in Canada that offer the Doctor of Naturopathic Medicine degree. One is in Toronto, where most of us studied, and then the other is out west in BC.
Yeah, I remember I was talking to someone about that the other day. They were like, isn't there just one? And I'm like, I swear someone said there was another one out there somewhere.
Yeah, it's called the Boucher Institute out west. And in Toronto, it's the Canadian College of Naturopathic Medicine. And of recent, within the last year, the 2 have actually merged. So it's under the CCNM umbrella, but Boucher Institute, which is out west, is now part of that as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you studied in Toronto then as well?
I did, yes.
And what did you, a little bit more about the internship side of things? Where did you do, what did you study for your internship? I know, was it a generic, because I know you said Western medicine, they specialize and do, residencies, but, with your internships, how do they work with, in holistic practice?
Absolutely. So just briefly, so your first 2 years are, studying the books, the pathology, disease, DDX, all the naturopathic modalities. So homeopathy, Chinese medicine, acupuncture, diet, nutritional supplements, and so on. So you kind of do that the first 2 years. The 3rd year, you start lightly shadowing into clinic. But your 4th year, that internship, so basically you see patients at a teaching clinic under the supervision of an ND, so supervisor. Now, as an aside, I'm also on faculty at the Canadian College of Naturopathic Medicine, so once a week I'm there supervising on a Wednesday shift, and I've been doing that for 18 years.
That's awesome.
Yes, so those interns during your 4th year, you're seeing patients, you're taking a case, you're learning the ropes, you're performing acupuncture, B12 injections, and it's all under the supervision of a supervisor.
That's a good way to learn, honestly. That's really, I think shadowing someone and, having someone there to kind of oversee things is probably, how I would learn, the best way that I would do that. Because, if you handed me a book and you said, someone's here, here's a book,
it doesn't work. I agree with you.
It does not work.
and you know me, you made an interesting point, Skye, because even in anything you study, and if it's, obviously you need the knowledge and books, and that's wonderful, mm-hmm. But even any disease states or case studies, nothing is ever textbook in practice.
No.
Right? Everyone is individual, and that's actually a very key component of naturopathic medicine, is treating every single person who comes into our office as an individual. And it has to be an individualized approach. So getting back to what you're saying, yes, having a supervisor oversee who's been out in the field for a few years, interns really reap the benefit. And by the way, each intern will have at least 4 different supervisors, because they have 4 shifts every week, right? So you're tapping into different knowledge and unique styles of practice. You're absolutely right. You can't replace that.
No, you can't replace that. that's like studying the field that I am, which is like promotions, obviously, but like coming into this job has been a lot of like trial and error for me, whereas like it's definitely been an experience. So you were just talking about the guiding principles of naturopathic medicine, and that one of them is treating everyone as an individual. I know there is 6. I believe there's 6.
Yes.
What are the 6?
I didn't know there would be a quiz, but I'll mention the ones that, and this is not the complete guiding principles, but do no harm. Obviously, I think that's a classic overall theme. Definitely treating the individual person on a holistic aspect. Now, what do we mean by holistic? Well, I would want to know, for example, everything about you, Skye, that you were comfortable sharing. So how do you sleep? How do you eat? What stresses you out? How do you deal with stress? Do you have any pains? Do you get? So I want to know everything about you, the holistic approach. You can't separate physical symptoms from the mental, emotional. Like, we have to sort of address everything and know everything so that we get down to the underlying causes. And that's a key principle, is trying to determine and investigate, why is so-and-so having chronic migraines? What are the underlying themes or contributing factors? And then that kind of ties into the individualized care that I was saying. This is not where, okay, everyone with migraines, we're going to give them this treatment protocol. Everyone who comes in with sciatica, this is what we're going to do. Doesn't work that way. So we have to be reminded that is a key principle. Another key is that I would hope and want to say that all NDs, what we are essentially trying to do, Skye, is empower the individual to take charge of their health. So when someone comes to me, it's like, look, you do have choices, you have options, you have the power to do this is something you can take control over, so let's start implementing. So we're trying to really put that individual in the driver's seat, giving them ownership of their health, giving them responsibility of their health.
I think that's really important as well, because I know, like, in some cases that doctors are just like, oh, here's like the textbook, this, you have this is the treatment, the end. But like, I love that holistic medicine kind of goes to the root cause of like, why are you in pain, instead of just like, here's some Tylenol. Like, I really, really have admired that since I started working here.
Well, yeah, it's always that, and then there's definitely a place for the integration.
Oh, of course.
Of as we've alluded to earlier as well, and I think that's beautiful when you can have a team of health professionals working for the sake of optimal well-being of any given individual.
Yeah. So, and how do you feel that these principles, that since learning them and getting into holistic medicine, have influenced your everyday life?
I would say in a very big way, and I would like to think that the way that I conduct my day-to-day life feeds into my practice as well, and vice versa. So if I go just by the principles I said about, trying to be aware of the underlying contributing factors. So, for example, if I know that maybe I'm overworking myself or I'm overextending myself, then I have to be aware, if I'm truly doing what I do as an ND, I have to walk the talk. So I have to be aware that, how is this manifesting in me? I'm getting tired, maybe my tolerance isn't as it used to be, maybe I'm starting to, so have I been overextending? Okay, I have to remind myself that I need to give myself me time, go do things that I enjoy doing. Have I been drinking enough water? Is that why I'm not getting headaches, or I'm getting headaches because I'm not drinking enough water? So the principles, I think they feed into your lifestyle. They remind you of being aware of yourself. They remind you of connecting with yourself physically, mentally, emotionally. On that note, I always make a goal for myself that, and I'm not perfect like anyone, that if I can do something that is helping my physical health, mental health, and emotional health, if I do one thing every day that's helping that, then I'm doing good. So that's kind of a piece of advice that I give to a lot of my patients as well.
That's a great goal, honestly. That's really great.
And it's fairly easily done and realistic, right?
Yeah. So I know you were talking earlier about like headache, sciatica, different things, but what concerns or ailments can naturopathic doctors treat? I know that's a very broad question.
Yes, it is, because I do have to say with a sense of pride that as NDs, and if you ask even all the other NDs here, Skye, we see everything across the board, from a little pediatric baby coming into our practice to cancer patients, right? So I would say that it is broad, and the application of naturopathic medicine can genuinely address a lot of diverse health conditions out there. We know where our limitations are, and that's also a good thing. And then we know when we would want to refer out. When we're seeing a patient, we are respectful to them in terms of their choices, the medications they may be taking. We would never tell someone to come off their medications. We are working within that paradigm, and we want to support them in wherever they are in that journey. So going back to your question, I don't think there's something specific that we see a lot. We definitely can address a very wide spectrum of ailments, health concerns, diseases. Some NDs, some of us do take a special interest, like I mentioned, but yeah, it's pretty broad.
Yeah. So, what for our listeners? What would you be able to expect at an initial assessment with a naturopathic doctor, like your first appointment?
The first appointment generally is about an hour. So in that hour, we're taking a very, very thorough, full case history. Obviously, we're going to focus on the chief concerns that they brought in. But again, I was telling you about the holistic, so I'm going to do a head to toe. I want to know everything about you as much as possible. During that visit, we would most likely do a complaint-oriented physical exam. So, for example, if someone is coming in with abdominal concerns, we would check their vitals. I might do an abdominal exam at that time. If there's time permitting, we may discuss any relevant testing that they may need to do, which could be done through their family doctor. We can also requisition blood work as well. Through us, any services are not covered by OHIP, but that could be generally a summary of what might happen in the first visit. And before they leave, obviously, we would start and implement a treatment recommendation.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like that. Because I know with a lot of doctor's appointments, it's like, fill out 9 papers. Here's your doctor. They don't want to see you. Not to bash medicine.
Yes.
But
yes.
I know a lot of, because doctors are so overloaded these days. It feels like it's a very personal approach, which I think a lot of people would appreciate.
Yeah, definitely. They are very busy, right?
Oh,
I mean,
course.
the healthcare system in general, I think, there's individuals that are looking for family doctors. It's definitely, it's overtaxed. In naturopathic medicine, we do have the ability to, an opportunity to sit down with a patient for an hour, right? And go over that and fully hear their story. This is essentially the point, and I'm glad I remembered this, is creating space that's safe, where you don't feel judged, where it's unbiased, where you can share your story, you can let me know what's going on in your journey of health.
That's great, honestly. I keep saying it, but honestly, ever since I started working here, it's been such an interest to me to learn more and more about the profession. It's definitely been, and I'm still going to continue to learn, obviously, because learning is a lifelong thing.
It is, as I continue to learn as well, right?
So now that we've learned a little bit about naturopathic medicine, how would someone that, one of our listeners, go to about booking an appointment with you specifically?
So with myself or anyone here, any of the other NDs, you do not need a referral. You can simply call our office phone number and talk to one of our great staff. And any questions that you might have about, what's further details, our staff is wonderful. They're very well versed in naturopathic medicine, and they'll guide you in sort of the right direction. So no referral needed. You can simply call our office. Our website, ndoc.ca, ndoc.ca, which I know you've done incredible work there. You can also go to that website and learn about each of us. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Yes, we're working on updating the bios right now, so hopefully that'll be done very soon. And that also leads me to the question, where can I learn more about naturopathic medicine as a whole? Do you have any good resources that would be beneficial?
I mean, I'm gonna again brag about our website, so I think it's a good place to start, because it's going to give you, I want to say, enough information that at least it gives you a sense of what naturopathic medicine's about. And then from there, hopefully, you take a step to connect with one of us and sit down so that you can address your health. Again, it's about giving you ownership so that you can work towards your optimal well-being.
I'm also going to add in there that our social media platforms also have a lot of information on them. We are on like every social media platform, not to toot my own horn, but we're Facebook, we have LinkedIn, we have YouTube, we have TikTok. So like if you're ever wondering what you can get more information, we post a lot of informational videos on there as well, and we plan to post even more in the future. It is definitely a work in progress, but I'm getting there. So I'd like to end our podcast today by thanking Dr. Singh for being here today. Our next podcast is going to be we're going to be releasing podcasts now at the end of every month. So I think the last Friday of the month, every month. And like I said, in the meantime, you can find us anywhere where podcasts are available. So Spotify, Apple Podcast, anywhere like that, as well as on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So thank you for joining us today. And I hope to see you soon. And I hope that everyone will come and book an appointment.
Thank you, Skye.
Thanks
for doing this. Yeah.
All right. I did it. It happened.